Everybody, welcome back to Ernee in northwestern France for the 10th round of the FIA Motocross World Championship. This is the Monster Energy MXGP of France. My name's Paul Malin. Thanks for joining us throughout the day for our live broadcast of the FIA Motocross World Championship. It's been a challenging weekend at times with intermittent rain and stormy weather yesterday, but today, even though we arrived with a little bit of drizzle first thing, the skies have cleared for now at least. We got a dry and very near perfect racetrack. Not sure if they've done any work on the racetrack between motos or not, but as you can hear, the MX2 riders are out on track for their sighting lap ahead of MX2 Race 2. If you are joining us for the first time today, there is a look at the start straight. So from the finish line, which is downhill, left, right, back onto the start straight. Sector 1, the dark grey zone ends as you come out of turn 2. Then the long straight takes you up the long uphill triple, back down the opposite direction. Then we've got Sector 3 starts, and then Sector 4, just at the very top of the hill, the light grey zone in front of the Monster Energy rig. But Paul's shown us a winner here when we were last at this venue back in 2017. And we have a full house once again here at Ernee, the Raymond Demy circuit. And they are very patiently waiting for the gate drop of MX2 Race 2. Slight breeze blowing around the racetrack here, but it's crucially dry, unlike this time yesterday when it absolutely poured it down and left the track in a very, very sad state. But credit to the organisers and the track crews. They've done a great job of getting this thing up and running. Let's go take a look at what happened in MX2 Race 2. Here's the highlight, MX2 Race 1. Here's the highlights from that race earlier on in the day. MX2 Race 1. Over on the left-hand side, a rider went down on the start straight, but it was Langenfelder who crossed the Fox Holeshot line for the 5th time this year. But by the time he came out of turn 2, Kevin Hawkmo was right there. So too Vialle in 3rd. Isaac Gifting in there as well. Jago Kiet's about 8th place at that point on the track, going through turn 3. Thibault Benistant, who couldn't get his engine fired up as he was parked on the line, was working his way through traffic, just like his teammate, Jago Kiet, who found his way past Isaac Gifting. And a mistake from Langenfelder allowed Vialle to take over the lead. Then Hawkmo made a mistake. That allowed Vialle through. Langenfelder was 3rd, but, sorry, Hawkmo was 3rd. Then Langenfelder was in there as well, but 2 riders in one pass and one turn. Kiet from 4th to 2nd. Langenfelder 3rd, Hawkmo 4th. Rubini got the better of Isaac Gifting as he moved into 5th place around about the halfway point. Wouldn't be the first time the Swede would get passed on that part of the racetrack. Kiet's got close on several occasions and then fell as he challenged Vialle for the lead. They couldn't believe it down there in pit lane. Liam Everts also found his way past Gifting at the same part of the racetrack as he moved into 6th place. He would then make a mistake at the top of the hill and lose a position to Mikkel Harup. Adamo thought he'd gone through, and so too Thibault Benistant. This was an intense battle between these 3 riders. Benistant then found his way past Adamo and went after Gifting. Thibault Benistant around the outside of Gifting as he charged his way into 8th, having been about 30 seconds down on everybody at the start of the race. Tom Vialle victorious in race 1 from Kiet, Langenfelder, Hawkmo and Rubini. And what a reaction that was from the crowd as well. Well, MX2 riders have been out on their sighting lap. They are now in the waiting zone getting ready to come to the line. Lisa caught up with the team manager for Nastan Husqvarna Factory Racing, Rasmus Jorgensen. But before that, the rider who finished 4th in race 1, Kevin Horgmo from FNH Kawasaki.
MX2 race 2 is just around the corner, but let's catch up with some of the guys. The first being Kevin Horgmo from FNH Kawasaki Racing. Mainly, Kevin, because, you know, you've been solid all weekend. You were strong in qualifying. You brought it home in 4th in that first race. So it looks like you do have a good feeling out there.
Yeah, for sure. I did a good start and was leading for like 2 laps. Made a couple of mistakes and dropped back to 4th, but felt comfortable there and, yeah, just had a solid race, yeah.
And how's the track shaping up? Because it's completely different from yesterday.
Yeah, for sure, it's shaping up good. Yeah, track is actually mint today. I wouldn't think that with the weather we had yesterday, but that track in the qualifying race was quite difficult, but how it is now is just, yeah, perfect.
Okay. Well, best of luck today. Thank you very much. Now, we have Rasmus Jorgensen here at the start here in France, but again, not an interview you'd probably like giving, but please give us an update on your riders, Kai de Wolf and also Rowan van der Moosdijk. How are they doing? Because we haven't seen them for a while and we miss them.
Yeah, I honestly really also miss being here. It's so weird being here and then, you know, not being racing with our guys, but no, it's good just to be here and catch up with everyone, and the guys are doing great. Finally, a little bit of light in the end of the tunnel, let's say. So Kai got rid of his cast last Thursday, was on the bike a little bit yesterday, and it's going well, but still needs a little bit of time, you know, to be good, the wrist. Yeah, just taking it step by step with him, and the same regarding Rowan, you know. It's been a big injury, a big surgery, and we're expecting him to be back on the bike in the next weeks, but again, just slowly and steady, and yeah, hopefully build it up slowly.
Well, it's great news about their recovery. When can we expect them back behind the gate?
Yeah, so the target for Kai is definitely Indonesia. Germany will be a little bit too early. And for Rowan, we have to see. It would be nice to get him back racing this year, and that's what we're working for. But let's see step by step with his shoulder and everything, and not do anything. You know, we don't want to overdo it in the beginning. So get him back 100%. That's the main target, and then hopefully do a few races in the end of the year.
Okay, well, thanks for the update, Rasmus, and we wish them both a speedy recovery. Thanks, Rasmus. Okay, it's time now for MX2 Race 2.
Finally, we get to race 2, Lisa. Inside joke. Right, let's take a look at the calendar. As you can see, we are halfway through the season. Round 10 here, the Monster Energy MXGP of France and Ernee. This is the second of a run of 3 in a row. We were in Spain last week, France today, and Germany next weekend. We have a weekend off before we head to Indonesia. Then we get 2 weekends off, because then we head to Loket and in the Czech Republic and Belgium. Normal. Another couple of races back-to-back. In fact, 3 in a row before we head to the final couple of races, and then the Monster Energy Motocross Nations. The USA at Redbud. Can't wait for that one. If the atmosphere is anything like what we have now, it will be off the scale. Simon Langenfelder heads to the line on pole position for the 2nd time this year. Tom Vialle alongside him, Thibault Benistant, Kevin Horgmo and Stefan Rubini. Liam Evans, Håkan Fredriksson, Peter Pollock, Kai Karsmakers and Kevin Brumman. Then we've got Isaac Gifting, Jan Panzer, Guillaume Perez on the RAS Motorsport KTM, Myself Stauffer, Philip Olsen, Thomas Kohut, Pierre Goupillon, Valerio Latta, Glenn Mayer, Michael Harup, Jakob Teresak, Dorian Werle, Florian Lambion, Andrea Adamo, and just off the page there, Jargo Geerts, having fallen at the start of the qualifying race, could not rejoin. Tom Vialle lines up, having won the race earlier. Can he do it again in race 2 and win the French Grand Prix? There is Jargo Geerts, the Monster Energy Yamaha rider, pushing his bike to the line. He knows he needs a good start if he is to challenge Tom Vialle for the overall Grand Prix victory. Likewise, Simon Langenfelder, 3rd in race 1. He is going to be a real threat, and so too Kevin Horgmo. We haven't had a Norwegian winner around here in Ernee since Kenneth Gunderson back in 2001 on a 125 KTM. We are almost ready to go here. 30 minutes plus 2 laps. The Monster Energy MXGP of France, MX2 Race 2. The Fly Racing 15-second board up for the final time. Fans on their feet. The noise already bellowing around this Ernee racetrack. Tom Vialle, heart pumping surely as the gate drops for MX2 Race 2. And it's Vialle who crosses the Fox Holeshot line for the first time today, for the 6th time this year. He doesn't get quite clean through that first turn, or second turn, sorry. But he is leading in front of the home fans at the first time of asking. Benistant alongside him takes over the lead though. Jago Geerts in 8th place with a lot of work to do. In fact, he's already up to 3rd, 4th place just behind Everts. 3rd now at the top of the hill. Great recovery through the first couple of corners for the Belgian. But Thibault Benistant absolutely on fire through the first few corners, making up for problems on the gate in race 1. He leads race 2. Geerts right there. So too Everts and Rubini in 5th position. Then we've got Peter Pollock on the JM Honda. He's in 6th place, ahead of Andrea Adamo. Across the highest point on the racetrack, a French 1-2 as Benistant leads Tom Vialle. Listen to the reception as the 2 riders, the 2 leaders, head downhill for the first time. 2 Monster Energy Yamahas sandwich the Red Bull KTM between them of Tom Vialle, the rider in pink this weekend. Benistant comes to a bit of a sliding halt in that final left before dropping downhill. He leads for the first time this weekend, and also for the first time this year. Nice wide sweeping line back onto the start straight as Benistant leads the way. Vialle 2nd, Geerts 3rd, Everts in 4th, Rubini 5th, Adamo in 6th place, head of Gifting, Pollock, Orgmo and Ferrez. Langenfelder 3rd in race 1, buried in 11th in race 2, ahead of Mikkel Hara at the moment. Then we've got Tom Guyon, Fredriksson, Panzer, Carsmakers and Kohut, with Teresak, Olsen and Latta rounding out the top 20. And Kevin Horgmo finds his way past Pollock for 8th place, as Vialle gets closer to Benistant. Geerts just building in confidence. See him coming into view now, getting closer to Vialle. Different lines at the top of the hill. Big braking bumps as they drop into this bottom right-hander. Vialle doing his best to keep Geerts at bay at the moment in the early stages of this second MX2 race. The Belgian tried on several occasions to get himself back into contention with the leader in race 1. Vialle wasn't able to, and it's Vialle who's looking to make a move down the inside at the bottom of the hill here. Not quite close enough to make the move on Benistant. Nice move though. Oh, we've got rider. Oh, it's Gifting down again. So Gifting has been down. He's dropping down the leaderboard now in 17th. First 3 riders over the line. Benistant with the fastest lap of the race, and then that was eclipsed by Jago Geerts in 3rd position as he bears down on Tom Vialle. The atmosphere here, football-esque, stadium-like, as the French fans have 2 home riders in the top 2 positions. Less than 2 seconds separate the top 3 riders on track at the moment as they step uphill. Vialle, a nice tight line there, does not want to leave any doors open for Geerts to come charging through. But Thibault Benistant Fantastic ride in the early stages of this second MX2 race. Hasn't won a race since Czech Republic last year, July 25th. As we watch these three, a couple of quick flashbacks in this race so far. Watch this here, the opening lap. Look at the drive that Benistant got to find his way past Vialle into the lead. And then Langenfelder parking Harrop to get himself into 8th. Langenfelder knows he's got to be aggressive if he's going to be on the podium at the end of the day. Harrop feeling the wrath of that pass from the German. Benistant looking cool at the moment, Vialle equally so. Are these three just trying to suss each other out? Nice improvisation there. Saw it a lap earlier from the number 93. Going out wide, cutting across some of those ruts, looking for something different. Again, dropping downhill. Gap now about 2.5 seconds because it's Benistant who's just starting to eke clear of the two guys behind him. Kevin Horgmo is past Adamo and Rubini. Moves up into 5th. Watch this here. Round the outside of Adamo, Kevin Horgmo taking the place away from the Italian. Again, Vialle favours that inside line up on the pegs as long as possible before dropping downhill over that little step down. Tom Vialle confirmed with the Fox Holeshot for the 6th time this year. But Thibault Benistant almost 2 seconds clear at the moment. The Monster Energy Yamaha rider just eking little tenths here and there. It's Vialle though that's under pressure as he hits. Oh, charges down the inside. Beautiful move that from the Belgian. Takes over 2nd place. He now goes after his teammate, but Tom Vialle will not take that one lying down. He will try to come back at the first opportunity if he can. Lap 3. Geerts goes defensive, bottom of the hill. He would have seen Vialle's line there a lap or so earlier when he tried to find his way down the inside of Benistant. Wasn't going to leave the door open for the KTM man. So a Yamaha 1-2. Benistant leads Geerts. Charging down over the finish line once again. 3 laps in the books. Another fastest lap of the race for the number 93, Geerts. 54.1, 54.7, Benistant and Vialle. Geerts at 53.0. So more than a second gained. Equidistant as they go through turn 2, though, the gap between the first 3 riders. So still plenty of time to run. 30 minutes plus 2. The duration of the race. We've got 21 minutes to run. Jago Geerts knows that if he is to win the overall Grand Prix at the moment, he has to find a way past his teammate, Thibault Benistant. Oh, Benistant just losing the front there. Because Vialle, a win, 25 points, and a third, 20, would better 2 second places. 2 lots of 22, therefore, of Jago Geerts by 1 point. Benistant coming up a little bit short there. But he's still got this race under control at the moment. Oh, back end, just working overtime on the KTM of Vialle. Just caught a hole, just pitched the front end down and the back end up towards the top end. So dropping downhill once more. Just 2 seconds separate the first three. 1.2 between the first two. But it doesn't look like that as they head into the final turn before emerging back onto the start straight. Benistant still leading the way. Rubini down at turn one. Benistant, the perfect response to the problems he had in race one. Came out firing on all cylinders, didn't he? Racetrack. If you'd have asked us yesterday, this time yesterday, that we would be given this option of a racetrack as perfectly prepped as we've got now, you would have said we were having a laugh. But that is the back end, getting a little bit leery on Kwiat's Yamaha. He came in, he was just a bit short, and he caught the peak of the second jump, and he's got a mistake there as well. A warning sign or two for the rider in second place. I was about to say, if you'd have asked us yesterday, or told us yesterday we'd be riding on conditions like this, would have said you were having a laugh, but this is the racetrack we've got. Perfect traction. Yes, it's gnarly, it's bumpy, it's rutty, it's motocross. Of course, it's going to be physically demanding, mentally and physically, but also it's a real technical challenge for the riders as well. Similar lap times and speeds for the top three in the race. Benistant, Kwiat and Vialle. You know what? If that door gets left open in that top right-hander next time around, Vialle will be through. He thought about going around the outside, didn't he? Two lines merge into one. Tighter inside line on the exit for Kwiat. Gains a couple of bike lengths on both riders. Watch this here. Comes into land. Back end goes out now. Yeah, they felt it as well. Still nothing in it between the first three. As it stands right now, Vialle, Kwiat, Benistant. That's your podium. Benistant on the podium with a potential, well, 8th and a potential race win. By 4 points over Kevin Horgmo, who sits 5th at the moment in race 2. Chasing the dirt around the outside, looking for that traction. Thibault Benistant, who arrives here 10th in the championship, missed the first 3 rounds, an after effect of a short off season and knee surgery that was required. He missed the last couple of rounds as well, so he could have been an even later starter this year. But already picking up the pace in MX2 and showing that he's going to be a threat to be reckoned with. Here's the top 3. 4th rider coming downhill any moment now, and that would be Everts. Here's Langenfelder and Harrop once again. Not content with getting nudged out of the way earlier on in the race. Twice now for Harrop as Langenfelder goes to 7th. Harrop down to 8th. If you're a betting man or woman, where would you place your bets now? Answers via snail mail, please. Back marker, wild card there. Doing his best to stay out of the way. Vialle chasing the front end as he legged his way not once but 2 or 3 times through that right-hander. We've seen problems through there throughout the weekend, wet or dry. The corner asks you to commit. You get in, all of a sudden it tightens up. You've got those deep ruts. The front then wants to stand you up. Vialle having to push hard to rectify that mistake. Another wild card rider. Florent Lambion. He's in 19th at the moment. But look at Vialle. Again, we're getting to the part of the racetrack. Top of the next climb. Jago Geerts. He's going to go tight here. Vialle will get a good drive. And he makes a mistake there. And Vialle, if we see the light. No, he goes defensive this time. In fact, it's Vialle who goes the long way round. And then charges to the inside-outside combination. But again, it's not smooth on the exit because you have that bank to deal with right there. Both feet off the pegs for Vialle. Thibault Benistant. Fantastic ride so far. How much more of this can he take, though? Meanwhile, Everts has lost 3 positions. He's gone from 4th to 7th. So a mistake somewhere on the lap for Everts, costing him dearly. Back together again, the 2 Yamahas. And they're bringing Vialle with them. But then Benistant, so good through this part of the racetrack. Oh, here it's getting closer. Getting closer all the time. Dropped Vialle momentarily, but for how much longer? Because if he gets held up behind his teammate here, Vialle will be right back on the rear wheel of the number 93. Ah, back end lighting up. You only need to catch an edge there and it's all over. The Belgian riding it out though. So fast, so steep, that descent. And the way they're hitting those bumps and getting lined up through the ruts, mind-blowing. Always been a fast part of the racetrack. A real battle of the brave. Vialle looked like he just got caught between 2 lines there, wanted to go inside, outbraked himself, maybe then suggested the right, and Harup has been down. Where is that? Oh, it's obviously at the bottom of the hill, but did he go down at the top of the hill or on the way down? Either way, he is out of 8th place. So the Big Van World MTX Kawasaki of Mikkel Harup now in 17th place. Just wondering whether he'll finish the race out from this point here. He didn't look like he was too interested in continuing from that moment. Thibault Benistant making these 2 work extremely hard. Basically saying, you want the win, you want the 25 points. I don't care if you're my teammate or not, or if you're the championship leader or not. You've got to work hard to come past me. Problems for Harup down there in pit lane. Body language from Vialle coming out of that top turn. So aggressive. Still fancies his chances of a race win. He would be happy just taking 2nd away from Geerts. Langenfelder going after Adamo. This is for 6th place, and Langenfelder on fire. Best lap of the race so far, 1:52.4. Fastest sector 1 as he homes in on the Italian Adamo. The SM Action Racing Team Yuasa Battery Gas knows he's got his hands full. The German all over the back of him now as we reach the end of lap 8. Nine laps in the books. Still nothing to separate the 2 Monster Energy Yamahas, who have now started to pull clear from the Red Bull KTM of Vialle. Is this a 2-horse race now with just about 11 minutes still to run? So fast through the Dragons back there. Thibault Benistant. split times. Sector 1, 22.4, 22.6, 22.4.2. Fastest rider through there this time around, Vialle, but only by 1/10 of a second. But as you can see, just losing touch. He's about 2.5 seconds adrift of Jago Geerts now, who's closing in on his teammate, getting ready to pounce. Gets close, this part of the racetrack, lap in, lap out, and then loses it across the top of the hillside here. Look at the gap that Benistant puts between himself and Geerts all of a sudden. Just got better drive through that sweeping turn. Geerts just trying to focus on holding a tighter line, and it's a little bit rougher through there as well. So then he has to work harder on this part of the racetrack just to get himself back in contact. Right, where's Vialle? He's lost time. He's 15 seconds down. He's made a mistake. At the top, through that top right-hander, I bet. Let's have a look. He's been down on his left side. Has he? Yes, he has. Was that... interesting. So, Tom Vialle. We're looking for a replay. If we have it, we'll find it. But... Tom Vialle, all of a sudden, losing a lot of time, and Horkmo is all over the back of him now. So in answer to the question, yes, it will be a two-horse race between now and the flag, and it will be between Benistant and Geerts after the mistake from Vialle. Putting himself under a lot of pressure now, though, with the hard-charging Kevin Horkmo bearing down on him. So there is Tom Vialle. Here's what we have of his mistake. Through the FMF turn. So he sorts himself out. He's obviously made a mistake, and then just trying to straighten out the handlebars and the clutch lever. So that's what cost him the 15 seconds. So just out of sight. So to clarify, Tom Vialle, a lap ago, through that part of the racetrack, through the right and then uphill section, is where he made his mistake, handing the advantage to these two. Vialle will still lead the overall classification, though, and with no pressure behind, Geerts reverts back to the outside-inside cutback. Thibault Benistant does not want to relinquish the lead. Not here, not at home, not in front of the French crowd. Even if his fitness reserves aren't fully where they should be, maybe, he will go above and beyond to make sure he stays there. As Tom Vialle told to breathe. Looks like he's regrouped. That first turn, how it polishes up on the exit. Adamo not far away in 5th position. Langenfelder must have made a mistake because he's lost the toe to the Italian at the moment in 6th place. And we've got Everts, Panzer, Guyon and Carsmakers in 10th place. Going to be 11th overall for Carsmakers. Actually showing good consistency as number 33 on the Hitachi KTM, because 10th overall, 16th and 12th, the last 3 rounds. Going to be 11th overall here today. Stays where he is. Stylish Thibault Benistant heads back downhill, occupies that tight inside line, gets out of there pretty quickly as well, pulls another couple of bike lengths on his teammate, who again goes outside, tries to get across, doesn't fancy those deep inside ruts. Thibault Benistant, no care in the world, inside outside gone. There was a big panic rev there a moment ago. Oh, Jago Geerts losing a lot of time the last couple of corners. He was 1.9 down, but all of a sudden, sector 1 comes to an end any moment now. And for Benistant, a 22.79, and for Geerts, a 22.71. So, not losing time then. Just looked like as he came out of that final turn, looked like it had cost himself some time there. Back markers again. Hopefully they don't interfere with play, and they don't. Meanwhile, Tom Vialle under attack from Kevin Hoogmo. Hoogmo finds a way past the Frenchman. Geerts wins the overall. So a lot riding on this battle for third with 4 minutes to go. Kevin Hoogmo may not be aware of that though. Tom Vialle might be. Another battle behind them though. Andrea Adamo and Langenfelder locked together once again as they fight over 5th place. Been a hard race this for Langenfelder. Where was he? 12th, 13th on the opening lap. All of a sudden, here he is hanging on to Adamo, fighting over 5th place. Tries to get down the inside of the Italian. So 3 minutes to go. Adamo doing a great job keeping Langenfelder at bay. And once again, Vialle responding to the threat of Hoogmo behind him. He will need all the help he can get from these guys right here. Turning out to be a great day at the moment for the French. They're going to have 2 riders on the podium in this MX2 category, 1st and 3rd, with Vialle and Benistant as it stands right now. Oh, Hoogmo looking interested all of a sudden. He's got close once again. Needs to figure his line choices out if he's to make a move, though. He would have spent a lap behind Vialle. Will know where he's quicker. This area here is where Vialle would have crashed. Would have tipped over, probably just in the swampy stuff. Because he came into view here, just picking himself up, and then knocking the clutch lever up around about now. This was already a few laps ago when he was 3rd, fell from 3rd, but lost that toe to Benistant and Geerts. Ah, Jago Geerts, fastest lap of the race. A 1:51.8. A 53.4 for Benistant as Adamo still defends. But all of a sudden, less than a second between the first 2 riders. Oh, parking ticket for Adamo. Langenfelder, brutal with 2 corners from the line. And Jago Geerts with the fastest lap of the race, reducing the gap, going after his teammate all of a sudden with 3 laps to go. Benistant will know he's there. He keeps the Belgian to the outside. To win the overall Grand Prix, Geerts cannot rely on Hoogmo finding his way past Vialle. He has to beat Benistant as it stands right now. Showing good speed at the end of the race, the number 93. These 2 right on the very limits. Still, Benistant very rapid at the top of the hill. What's the difference downhill? Oh, hits hard on the gas and hard on the brakes as well. And there's a back marker ahead of Benistant. Nervous moments for the race leader. He follows the back marker. No, he doesn't. The back marker gets out of the way. Hits inside, outside. Two-lap board getting ready. There it is on the right-hand side. Hits a little bit offline as he comes down towards the finish line. Vialle with his fastest lap of the race, doing his best to keep Hågmo at bay. The clock ticking down. The fans know we're in the final 2 laps. Great response this from Benistant. Oh, hits just a little bit crooked as he came into land on the Dragon's back, but manages to save it. He knows he's quick around here. He was quick around here a lap or so ago. Benistant equally impressive though. Not close enough to launch an attack this time around, and there is a line that Thibault Benistant is using very well that Jago Geerts has not picked up on, and it's after the Liqui-Moly climb, the long drag up towards the finish line. A mistake there from Geerts. And the right-hander at the top. Geerts going wide to cut back. Benistant inside, just sitting down, getting on the gas and opening up 2 bike lengths. Not this part of the racetrack, but the hill opposite. How hard is Geerts pushing down the hill just to get back on terms with his teammate. Meanwhile, 22 seconds further back, Vialle and Hågmo still fighting over there. And now he uses that line all of a sudden. And follows it in here. A big lap now. A final lap showdown between the 2 Monster Energy Yamahas, Benistant and Geerts. They are separated by less than a second. Peter Pollock, the back marker ahead at Benistant. Is he going to interfere with play here? We saw it in Majora. He didn't like to look around. The blue flags have been waving there. He's seen the leader go by, and right now he is getting involved in this battle that does not concern him. And all of a sudden, the battle is done. It's not the first time Pollock has interfered with play. Geerts now with a bit of work to do. Again, Benistant defensive. Through this part of the racetrack for the final time. He has been immaculate so far for all 16 laps. We're on lap 17. In terms of the championship, Vialle will just take 1 point advantage out of this weekend over Geerts. It was 10, it'll go now to 11 points as they head to Germany in a week's time. Is there still time though? Again, the 320 of Worley getting lapped. 3 laps down at the moment. One last push downhill. Again, Geerts gets close, hard and late on the brakes. Gets out of the turn efficiently enough, but he wasn't close enough to do anything about Benistant, who is 3 corners away from taking a win here in race 2 at home. Final turn. Thibault Benistant wins race 2. He wins here in France. The fans erupt. It won't get him the overall victory. That will go to Tom Vialle, who is still under pressure from Kevin Hågmo. But the Red Bull KTM rider, a winner in race 1, third in race 2, will cross the line victorious. Makes it back-to-back home wins here. This one at Ernee. Last year was La Capelle Marival. And he will hear the Marseillaise play around this Ernee circuit. What a race we had there. What a Grand Prix in MX2. Surely, yeah, Vialle down the start straight to salute the home fans. Lays the bike down. Throws the goggles to the crowd. Nice souvenir for somebody the other side of the river. Tom Vialle wins the French Grand Prix, and they absolutely love him for it. We'll give you the confirmation in a few moments' time. But Tom Vialle with his 40th podium and his 20th Grand Prix victory. And he does it here in France. And Tom Vialle is waiting to speak to Lisa.
Tom Vialle, congratulations. You gave your French fans something to cheer about with back-to-back overall victories and on home soil.
To be fair, I didn't know. Actually, I was a big surprise. When I crashed, I was really mad on myself. And I just tried to control the race, but I didn't know I win the GP, so thanks to the whole fan. It's amazing when you ride this. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Tom Vialle, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. He won his home Grand Prix at Le Capel Marival last year. He wins again at Ernee this year, the Monster Energy MXGP of France. He didn't realise he'd won it until he crossed the line either. But another momentous occasion, and one for the record books. Win number 20 now for the Frenchman. Official confirmation then of the Race 2 result, MX2 Race 2. Thibault Benistant wins for the first time since Czech Republic last year. What better place to do it than here at home? Jago Kietz just over a second behind him, and Tom Vialle third, even after making a mistake. Kevin Horgmo, Langenfelder, Adamo, Everts and Panzer rounding out the top 8, and the rest of the guys you see there. Pierre Goupignon found his way past Kohut on the final lap to move into 13th. The Monster Energy MXGP of France belongs to Tom Vialle. A win and a third gives him the advantage over Jago Kietz by just a point. Kietz joined by his teammate on the podium here in France, who finishes third overall ahead of Horgmo and Langenfelder. And for Benistant, 2 podiums from the last 3 rounds now. Both of them third place finishes, Sardinia and here. And in the championship, Tom Vialle now 11 points clear of Jago Kietz. And Langenfelder maintains that third place. Horgmo up to 4th. Harup losing out and drops to 5th this weekend. Thibault Benistant climbs another place inside the top 10 now, up to 9th for your Race 2 winner. No change in the Manufacturers' Championship. KTM still lead the way, but only by 2 points over Yamaha. Very, very tight in that championship. Take a look at the Fox Holeshot, shall we? Before we go anywhere else. Tom Vialle over the line once again. 6 in the books now for the Red Bull KTM man. Simon Langenfelder with his one earlier on in the day takes 5. Thibault Benistant on 2. Same as Kevin Horgmo. Then Liam Everts, Rick Elsinger, Kai Karsmakers, Mattia Guadagnini and Mikkel Harup all have 1 each. All important start straight and first turn work going on ahead of MXGP Race 2. Podium time. Thibault Benistant on the podium at his home Grand Prix, making up for the problems he had in Race 1, where he was 8th. He follows up with a race win, gets him 3rd overall here. Then he's joined by his Monster Energy teammate, Jago Kietz, the Yamaha riders, second and third here today. But it's going to be a French victory. Tom Vialle, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, wins in France. Extends his championship lead by a single point over Jago Geerts. And Joel Smets, team manager at Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, will take the winner's trophy for the team today. Gilles Ligeot, the Ernee Community of Municipalities president, takes the third place trophy to Thibault Benistant, his second trophy of the season. Both of them in third place, but that'll take pride of place at home, I'm sure. Jacqueline Arcanger, the mayor of Ernee, once again, thank you for letting us come to this part of the world and race this wonderful racetrack. Second overall for Jago Geerts. Also, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory MX2. Sebastien Poirier, the FFM president, delivers the #1 trophy, the winner's trophy, to Tom Vialle, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. And also to Joel Smets, team manager, who was victorious here on a 500 Hoosberg back in 1998. The third ever winner around this Ernee circuit, Joel Smets. Mr. Antonio Leoportella hands the red plate to Tom Vialle. He continues to lead the championship as we head to Germany. And we start the second half of the season there at Teufelstal. Right. This will be raucous, the national anthem of France, Les Marseillaise. Crowd participation here for Tom Vialle, and you could argue Thibault Benistant. Both of them winning a race here today, both of them on the podium, but it's Tom Vialle who wins the Monster Energy MXGP of France in the MX2 category. From Jago Geerts and Thibault Benistant, we'll catch up with those three in a moment, but let's check out the highlights of the race, shall we? Here's what happened earlier. MX2 race 2 here, Ernee. Jago Geerts from the outside gate here, closest to us, tried to get across but wasn't able to. He still emerged pretty decently though, around about 6th or 7th over the first split. But it was Tom Vialle with a Fox Holeshot for the 6th time this year, almost ran wide. Thibault Benistant though, out of the next turn, got fantastic drive, charged his way into the lead at the first opportunity. It was a French 1-2 at that point. Jago Geerts suddenly found himself in third place at the top of the first hill. We then had a rider down, and it was Isaac Gifting. Gifting re-emerged further down the field in 11th, but there was a battle going on here, Horgmo and Adamo. That was for 6th place. Then Vialle got passed by Jago Geerts. He would fall on this part of the track a little later on. That was for 2nd. Langenfelder back down the inside. This was the 2nd time on Mikkel Harup. That put him into 7th place. And then he had problems. He rejoined the track further on. That was Vialle picking himself up after his mistake. He was in 3rd place. He needed to straighten out the handlebars and the clutch lever on the left side. But he did not lose a position. Meanwhile, watch this here. Langenfelder cut to the inside of Adamo, parked him to the inside as he took over that 5th place. But it was Thibault Benistant who headed home his Monster Energy teammate Jago Geerts to win race 2. It was enough to get him on the podium, third overall as well. But Tom Vialle, crossing the line third, was your overall Grand Prix winner.
Tom Vialle, congratulations, a home GP victory for you. You won the first race. Second race, maybe got caught off guard a little bit by Jago Hirtz, a little mistake at the end, but it really doesn't matter. You got the overall victory, and it's what you came here for.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it was a crash. I mean, I won the GP, I'm so happy. The fans were amazing. Every lap on the start, I could hear them, so no, it was just fantastic. Want to thank really all of them, because they really pushed me today, the first moto especially, second moto also. So no, thank you, it was an amazing GP. I'm so happy, thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Second overall today, we have Jago Hirtz. Jago, you really did turn your weekend around from a very tough qualifying session. Good charge in race one. Race two, it was very much battle of the teammates out there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm quite happy about today. Didn't expect it after yesterday for sure. So pretty happy with 2 second places. Had really good speed. Just my start position was a little bit too far outside, of course. So I didn't have the best starts, but still managed to finish second. So pretty happy with that.
Thank you, Jago. Third overall today, we have Thibault Benistant. Thibault, 2 totally different races for you. Bad start race 1, wasn't your fault. You were playing catch up the whole race. Race 2, fantastic start. Led the race, won the race, gave your fans something to cheer about, and you got a second podium of the year.
Yeah, of course, 2 really different races for me. First one, I had a small problem on the start. I was completely alone. I cannot take the start, and yeah, I fight myself to come back as fast as possible, because I know the podium was still possible with a second good one. So I give everything in the second. I take a good start. I pass immediately Tom, and I hear the public. All the race was really incredible, and they are all in the back of us. Is really incredible. I'm so happy about this victory. I want to thank everyone and my whole team, everyone in my back.
Thanks, Thibault.
Thibault Benistant, third overall here at the Monster Energy MXGP of France in the MX2 category. Does it with a race win in race 2. His first since Loket last year, when he was victorious in the Czech Republic. It's 2 podiums now from the last 3 rounds, both of them third overall. Jago Hirtz gave himself a lot of work to do after crashing in the first turn of the qualifying race yesterday. Too far over, but 2 second place finishes. He only loses 1 point to Tom Vialle in the championship chase. Takes his 36th podium, 15 times now second place finisher. But Tom Vialle, a win and a third. Didn't realise he'd won the Grand Prix when he crossed the line. But 6 wins now for the season for the Red Bull KTM rider. Adds another point on his nearest rival in the championship chase as we head to Germany. 40 podiums, 20 Grand Prix victories. This one at home in France, though, for Tom Vialle here at Ernee. We're going to take a break. Join us in 2 minutes' time when we return for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2. We'll see you then.
Vous avez été magique pendant la course, vous avez été tellement bien avec eux. Maintenant, vous pouvez enfin leur parler. Vous leur avez fait des gestes, vous pouvez leur parler.
C'était incroyable, merci beaucoup. Chaque jour, je vous entendais en premier virage, c'était vraiment quelque chose de spécial. Vous êtes libéré en deuxième manche, mais le week-end était vraiment parfait pour moi. Merci à tous, c'était vraiment énorme.
Encore un mot et encore un bon pied en France, parce que je crois que c'était en France.
Oui, on va continuer à... On va tous dans ce temps dans le jeu, c'est vraiment une grande dynamique ce temps.
Bravo, bravo à toute ta famille. C'est Maxime. Je vois juste devant nous. Alors, regardez ça, il faut regarder un peu le train. Profitez-en, messieurs, là aussi, pour faire l'ovation à ces pilotes français qui subissent du boulot de Grand Prix de France, comme vient de faire Tom Vialle, comme viennent de faire également Thibault Benistant, comme l'ont fait Stéphane Doligny aussi tout à l'heure. Voilà, une belle représentation et un très très grand Grand Prix de France à utiliser par d'autres pour cette édition magnifique.